28 minutes before the hour, Sylacauga Mayor Jim Heigl joins us this morning. And Mayor, good morning to you as always, sir. Beautiful day in the neighborhood, isn't it?
It is a beautiful day. It's going to be a nice warm day, about 95 somewhere in that area.
But next week, temperature is going to be in the 70s.
It is. That's a great change in it. I think tomorrow we're looking at probably hitting 3 digits.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's going to start dropping. You know?
Absolutely.
That's good old Alabama
Absolutely.
weather. Cold in the morning, hot in the day.
Yeah.
You know?
So, council met yesterday. What was that about?
That's appropriation. We have 28 units throughout the city that we appropriate money to. And they came to talk to the council and told them the needs they had. Some were satisfied with last year's 2024, and they didn't ask for any increase, and some asked for increase. And they stipulated the reasons for it, you know. No decisions are made at this time. They'll meet again and go over the appropriations once more time. We've already finished with all my 9 departments. They looked at us and we got just about everything we needed, you know, and we were cut some, but that's expected, you know. But overall, it's going to be a while. And then, of course, we still have the bond issue. We're still working with that. There's some perimeters and all we're working with, and the council is trying to understand some of that. You know, this is a lot long drawn out more than I did the first time, because the first time was simple, because all we did was take high interest rates, do the bonds, and got lower interest rates. That's how we got the money back when Sam was mayor, you know. And but this time there's so many federal and bank things that they have to have paperwork. Poor city clerk, she had to come up with a lot of this information, and it wasn't easy, but we're getting there.
So this particular bond about fixing our roads and building a new recreation facility and a swimming pool, where are we at on that?
Well, when they decided to go for the bonds, I looked at it. Of course, I've been keeping up with the roads and with our needs, and also infrastructure, so mainly drainage, which is a big issue and still is. And
can I tell you something, Mayor?
Tell me.
The streets in this town are horrible. A lot of them are horrible.
I know, it's my fault. All them That's what Mike Kaiser said. You got a pothole, it's the mayor's fault, you know. Oh, that's all part of being it. But they are. But I put in for $10 million, and I got cut to $8 million. And all that will go for road paving, and also everything from Rocky Ridge all the way out to Fairmont and all the areas in between. And we'll get in paving and drainage. We'll have to work on that over there in Valley View area and out through that area. We'll have to work with the railroad, because we do have one trestle that's drainage ditch that goes under their trestle there, and we have to work with that. But it's coming together. But we got Michael Rice.
How do you select the streets and roads that need the attention?
Reed Cappy, street superintendent, he's out there all the time. I ride some of them myself, made some recommendations, but we really depend on Reed. And also Michael Rice of EEF&S Engineering out of Birmingham. He has handled all of our engineering as far as infrastructure. He just finished the Walnut Road Bridge. He came in, I think, was several $1,000s under budget. They just finished the Gene Stewart Boulevard, got all that paved and everything else. He came out several $1,000s under budget on that. And that's one thing I love about Michael Rice and his company. They've already been on time or under budget at every project they handle for our city as long as we've been employing them.
Well, it makes you want to use him again, don't it?
Oh yeah, we got him. He's going to be part of all this paving and all this drainage.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, we're using it, and that's a great company.
So another swimming season is almost over.
It is, no swimming pool.
And another year with no swimming pool.
Yeah.
Where are we the latest on the complex?
They showed us a drawing of the architectural drawing of the pool. It was mentioned in one of the meetings that they did do some groundwork out there, you know, looking at the subsoils and all. I think the depth of that bedrock is somewhere around 6 to 8 feet, somewhere in that area. As I understand it, this pool is not going to be it's more for swimming, and it's not going to be more than about 6 or 8 feet deep, and it's going to be internal. And they may have to move it back a little closer to that road over there toward the hill, depending on the geological surveys, whatever they found more. They got to go a little bit further with the geological surveys.
Is it finalized that that is going to be the location of the facility?
Right now it is.
Okay.
As far as I know, right now that's where they want to put it.
Okay.
And of course, I don't know how long it's going to be. We haven't even gotten through the bond issue yet.
So we're talking about several years.
Well, possibly, yes. It depends all on these bonds, you know, with the perimeters have changed on that, you know, from what we originally started at. We're looking at 37 million at 4.3, and now it's up to maximum is 44 mil with 5.7. Those are the higher perimeters that could go, you know.
Week or so
But it all depends on the market. When we sign, we haven't signed anything. Well, we signed certain papers, you know. That is the backbone of the city, you know, how strong we are financially. And we give that information to the banks to make sure that they want to make sure we're secure enough to make the payments. And of course, as you know, the first thing has got to come out of our budget every year. You got to make that payment on those bonds. That's got to come first. Of course, we have ad valorem, but that comes out of the other taxes, you know, property taxes, ad valorem tax for the schools. That's separate from this.
A week or so ago, a headline in Sylacauga Today newspaper, which, you know, I highly respect Ken Brewer.
Yeah,
and
he really tells it like it is, you know. Same thing with the Daily Home.
Yeah.
Chris, he tells you just like it happened, you know.
I saw the headline where it talked about censoring well, the name was mentioned, Laura Heath. And some people will say, y'all can't even get along at City Hall? Come on.
Well, it's not City Hall, that's the council, you know. It's yes, I don't know if they sanctioned her. I mean, we're just cautioned about things which you put on social media. And I don't know what Councilwoman Heath's point is. I don't get social media. I don't look at it. You know, I don't have a Facebook page. But
hey, it's a good thing.
yeah, I get blamed for enough without getting out of it. But anyway, we have to. It's getting terrible with the social media now. We're having to get an ordinance up to protect our people and let them know what they can and cannot. They are employees of the city. They got a responsibility. I've got a responsibility. I don't need to be putting stuff on social media that doesn't belong there. This is our city. We got a beautiful city. We want to stay on the positive side of everything, and we want to be proactive as we move forward.
Yesterday, on social media, on Facebook, I saw, as a lot of people have seen, did you put that out about the Sanctuary City deal? What is that about?
I did. I sent out a press release yesterday to notify people that we are not a sanctuary city.
What is a sanctuary city?
That is a sanctuary city, as I understand it, if you receive money from the federal government to house these people, to take care of them.
Okay.
We do not do that. I would not even step into that mode. As long as I'm here, we'll never be a sanctuary city.
So why was this brought up?
This is brought up because we have Haitians that were brought into this area as a workforce. Now, what areas they're going to be working in, I do not know. I do know that some of the Haitians living here in Sylacauga or staying here, they are legal immigrants according to the government. And some of them have jobs, some of them do not. They have not been a problem. We have not had any issues. We did have one little thing that came up that we asked our nuisance abatement officer to look into, and they communicated with them, and the thing was taken care of, you know, with no issues at all. But we're a very small, tight-knit city. We're a good many retired people and elderly people, and we all know each other, and I think that we just need to move on, and just gradually this will go away eventually.
Can you talk more about that release?
Well, I wish I could. I've already called the governor's office, and I've called 3 offices in Washington trying to get an insight on what was going on. I think Albertville, as I was told by some, chicken plants or processing plants are in bad need of labor. In Albertville, I think they have one up there, and they have an influx of them, and they will be hired to do that kind of work up there. We do not have such a plant. That's what bothered me. We do not have any type of processing here that I know of. And we had one years ago on 511, but now that family out there is use that building for making cabinets or boxes for electrical components at this time. And but I really don't know. I think some are going where they're working. I do not know, but I know they're not a problem. They shop our stores and all. I guess the best thing we can do is just use our good old Southern hospitality and bow nod to them and all, and move on. I think that gradually they'll find a job somewhere else and be moved.
Yeah, I'm assuming this is coming from what we see across our nation.
It is, and I expected this, and we've seen it in New York, Chicago, and California, and other places. That Sylacauga is a little bit of a shock. We weren't expecting, didn't have a heads up about it, but they're not creating no problems, and we just do need to move on and just.
Have you personally seen or know of busloads of immigrants being dropped off here in Sylacauga?
I have not seen it. I know we do have some at Fort Williams Motel, and also we have a family living on Main Avenue, and I understand there's some on 280. I have not seen them. I have not gone out of my way to find them. The police department has no issues with them. They have not created any problems for any of us, and I think that we just need to move on. I don't know who's sponsoring them.
Yeah.
And I've asked, like I said, I called the governor's office and everything, but what I could get out of that was just that they are being brought in here as contract laborers for different industries.
I was told yesterday that, and of course this is not in Sylacauga, but in Fayetteville, there was conversation about having modular homes or some type buildings put up or brought in for immigrants to live in, to work out of. And, in society today, Mayor, sometimes you just shake your head. You don't have the answers for it,
Well, we don't. And like I say, all that's a hearsay. I don't know. I don't know if it's true or not. I've heard them that they were in modular homes myself, but I have no proof of that. I mean, a lot of it, like I say, I don't do Facebook. I don't listen to a lot of these things, and people enjoy. The worse it gets, the more they enjoy it, but they're not bothering anybody.
Sometimes Facebook can be good, and sometimes it can be a problem.
It's a shame. I mean, even going to the federal levels, having to get laws and rules and regulations up about what you can put on Facebook.
So did we get the new police trucks?
We got them, and we got some more coming. We got those. They're doing very well. Harry Brown, God bless him, he's going to get a brand new SRO.
I bet he's glad of that.
Oh, yeah, he deserves it. He well deserves that school resource officer's vehicle. It's going to be a little unique from the rest of the police cars. But yes, we're gradually building. The only problem we have right now is getting more police officers. We're still down 6, and we got the interviews coming up next week for the police officers. We had 3 to pass the test for the police chief, and we'll be doing that next week, and that's going to create another vacancy because we're going to have 2 people that's going to be moving up, and that's going to leave a vacancy, so we could wind up back to 8 again.
When will it be finalized about our new police chief?
Next week.
Okay.
After the interviews. With the Civil Service Board, and then they'll go to the council, and the council will make the final decision.
Okay. All right. What's up with our fire department? Anything new there?
Well, fully staffed, everything else. The only thing we need, the chief needs a assistant fire chief, and that has always been put into the budget for him to get an assistant fire chief to give him some relief. He's the only one that doesn't have a secretary or anybody else. He has to control it all from both stations.
Wow.
So he does need some help. But they're fully staffed. I saw them out there yesterday morning doing push-ups. Here it was 92 degrees out there doing push-ups. Those are a tough bunch of boys. They're well physically built,
Yeah. So, Mayor, before we go this morning, I want you to speak to the citizens of Sylacauga about being careful of the words that come out of our mouth, because we can't get them back once they're out, and they can be very, very damaging.
Very damaging, and the Bible tells us that itself about the tongue. We have to be very careful. Social media, it could be a good thing, for communicating with people, but you have to be real, real careful what you say, because you don't like something. Don't let it come out. And if you hear something, just don't take it at face value. Look at the other side of it first. I have to do that all the time. And I see people that come to the council and they say something, the council, anyway, they need to look at both sides of the story before they show their emotions. It's very important. We got to take care of each other and look after each other. We all have our issues, and there's things we like, we don't like, but take the other person's side in consideration before we say something, and try and find out the the truth on both sides of the issue.
Well, Labor Day is coming up over the weekend.
Yeah,
and,
3-day weekend for the city. That's going to
yeah.
be nice. And our council meeting will not be Tuesday, but it'll be that Thursday of next week. And hopefully we'll get this budget out of the way and get things moved. But we're looking forward to 2025 and to the future, and I'm looking forward to getting all these areas paved. Of course, we got the main avenues, you know, and Fort Williams and all that paved. Now we're looking at the residential areas, Taylor Estates and Valley View, and out there at the Rocky Ridge from all the way through that area. And we've got a lot of paving that needs to be done.
And you got the budget coming up.
Yeah, I'm pretty well satisfied with what I've got. I know they cut us $250,000, but those things we can get by without. We got the necessities that we absolutely have to have, and but we still do need our fire chief, our assistant fire chief. We do really need that bad. And we got our vehicles, and we got the equipment they need. Animal control is doing quite well. Keeping the animal control officer busy, you know, trying to pick up dogs from here and there. I get just about every other day. I get pictures of dogs, and they go out and try and catch them and try to trap them.
Yeah, there's a little bit of difference there now because the police department only gets involved if there's a vicious dog.
Vicious dog, yeah. Well, the animal control officer has an air gun now that he can use if he has to, but if we get into a vicious, you know, that's something else that becomes into a lawsuit, you know. Then they got to have police reports on stuff like that. But thank goodness I don't think we've had but one biting incident. And thank God it wasn't too serious.
Well, Mayor, thanks for dropping by this morning. You've filled a lot of holes in this show, and thanks for dropping by. And if people need more information about what's going on in our city, his door is always open.
Always open. And be glad to answer the phone or anything you want to call me and let me know. But we are not a sanctuary city, and we never will be, as long as I'm here for sure. But so all that is all rumors. These people are not bothering anybody, and let's not bother them.
Sylacauga Mayor Jim Heigl, our guest this morning. More Daybreak just around the corner. Don't go away.